Now, there's a quiet crisis that's happening in this country right now as I speak, and that comes by the way of evictions. Now, in the past few days, I did videos on the amount of evictions that's happening in a few cities across America. And if we just add these 3 cities up, the amount of evictions that's being filed, you can see where this is going to end in a calamity at some point. Now, in Phoenix, Arizona, just last month, there were 7,000 evictions. And if we break those numbers down to these evictions just being filed on weekdays, that comes to about 350 eviction filings per day. Now, that's Phoenix. Let's move on to Denver, where they're saying 5,000 evictions per month. And that equates to about 250 filing evictions per day. And if we move on to Oklahoma City, now this is a small area, 277,000 households reside in Oklahoma City County, and they're experiencing 180 evictions per day. And if we just add those numbers up from just 3 cities, we're talking almost 800 eviction filings per day. And think about that, folks. When you leave out in the morning and commute to work, see if you can count 800 homes. And think about that. That's the amount of people. That's the amount of households that are being kicked out on the streets every day. And that's just from 3 cities. And if someone were to ask me where are the highest eviction rates in the United States, and my prediction would be in the Northeast, Philadelphia, Baltimore, maybe a city like Detroit or Cleveland, not Oklahoma City, not Phoenix, not Denver. So if these 3 cities are in that type of crisis, imagine what's happening across this country. Now, there is no media bullhorn shouting this out. Much of this information you have to go digging and find yourself. But at some point, this is going to be a headline because you're going to have a good portion of this country out on the streets. And hey, right now in Phoenix, Arizona, it's like 110 degrees. And if you don't have shelter over your head, that can be a life and death moment. Your absolute survival depends on having something over your head, a roof over your head in that type of environment. Now, this is happening while the headlines are great, while we're being told that this economy is doing well. So what happens when things sour, when things turn south? You're going to see these numbers go up, but by then it's going to be too late. Now, the government, they'll come out with some type of program, perhaps hand out vouchers, and it'll be more hoops for the public to jump through. But ultimately, that won't help. And we're ultimately going to be stuck in a whirlwind of people getting evicted, wrecking their credit scores, losing their jobs, and becoming dead weight on this economy. And that's going to put more strain on the people who are working. That's going to mean higher taxes, which are going to be more burden for you, less money in your pocket. And ultimately, you may be the next one to get that eviction notice and be tossed out. Now, in the past week, we've seen oil begin to rise again. And what happens if gasoline goes up another $1, $1.50? What's that going to do to an already burdened consumer? That's going to be even more pressure. That's going to end up being a disaster. And you're going to see these eviction filings accelerate. And like I said, we're going to be talking about a calamity in a few months. 1/5 of Oklahoma City may be evicted from their homes if the current rate of evictions continue. Think about that, folks. 1/5 of a city becoming evicted. So this country is in big trouble. No one's talking about it. And again, this is a quiet crisis that's building, and it's only going to get worse. Now, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.